So we want to talk about 5 mistakes in school, but not specifically in the classroom, right?
Yeah, maybe just a new five mistakes that you've seen other ALTs make.
Okay. So number one, and I can't stress this enough, never become friends with any student on social media. You are not their friend. You are not a buddy. You are there as their teacher. This will only end badly for you.
Yeah.
You should no Facebook, no email, I don't know what apps people use, but no Instagram, no Line, nothing. If a student says, "Oh, give me your email," it's just nope, sorry, you don't have my email.
Yeah.
You have to be professional. You're not here as like an exchange student, and that's I think a lot of people go in, especially in junior high school. A lot of young people, because I mean, let's face it, the age gap isn't massive between
especially in high school.
between some, like, even junior high school,
Yeah.
between like junior high school and sometimes it's only like 7 years difference,
Yeah. Yeah.
which isn't a massive
Yeah.
amount of time. You must never ever put yourself in a position where you have social media, because just put yourself in the position of the parents, right? They've got a 15-year-old daughter, and she's messaging her 22-year-old English teacher, who you think is probably not going to be in the country very long anyway. As a parent, you would not be happy about that.
Yeah.
So just, use a bit of common sense. I'm not going to attribute motive to people, but why would you want to have a 15-year-old girl emailing you anyway? It's just madness. Absolute taboo. Never do it. You're only asking for trouble. It will only end in trouble for you.
Yes.
Nothing good can come of it. Do not do it.
Yeah.
And following on from that, when you're in school, make sure you are never left alone with the girls. I'm saying this as a man, make sure you are never left alone. And in junior high school, there are maybe opportunities like practice for speaking tests and things like that. And this is for your protection. And just say to the teacher, don't say it like, "No, I refuse to go and be with a girl." Just say, "Can someone come and be with us? Or can we do it? Can we go to the library and do it?"
Yeah.
Don't be in like a classroom that's at the end of the corridor, which has no foot traffic going. You're in there and the doors are closed.
You say in terms of physical contact with the kids, in terms of, high five, tap on the head kind of thing. Would be the best,
like physical contact. I mean, like high fives, maybe touch like a pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Is about the most you want to go.
Yeah.
Obviously the gender thing, so boys with with a male teacher with a female. My rule of thumb is I do not have any contact with female students whatsoever.
Yes.
Actually, like when I'm walking around the classroom, I'll go out of my way to put my hands behind my back, when I'm walking past girls, or to move my hand to the other side of my body, just so nothing's going to get touched, nothing's going to get brushed.
Yeah.
Just be aware and be professional about the situation, I think. So another mistake is, I would say, don't get cute with your overtime or your working hours. You have to remember, if you're in Japan, and this is specifically for Japan now, people do a lot of free overtime.
Yeah.
And it's almost expected that you will do overtime, and it will be unpaid overtime. Now, obviously, if you're a contract worker, you're in a little bit of a different situation, because you don't have a guaranteed job. You're not getting some of the benefits that some of the full-time teachers are getting. Don't don't be arrogant about it. Don't be like, go up to the teacher and say, "I worked an extra half an hour yesterday, so I'm going to leave half an hour early today." Ask it as if you're asking permission to do it. Like, "Oh, yesterday I was here for half an hour extra, so would it be okay if I left half an hour early today?
Just
You know,
exercise a little bit of restraint, I
yes.
think, isn't it?
Don't come at it from the point of view of I know my rights and I'm going to demand what's owed to me.
Western way, isn't it?
Yes. But yeah, and you're not in a Western country, but the culture's different here. You know, people do a lot of free overtime, and it's expected that you would do free overtime and you won't complain about it and demand compensation for doing it. So we, as foreigners, should be aware of that cultural difference, and we should try and be a little bit, try and be subtle, try and be self-deprecating about it, try and be like, is it okay if I leave early? Because more often than not, they're just going to say yes. Because a big thing of Japanese culture is also avoiding any kind of conflict or any kind of confrontation. Yeah, exactly. So if you say, would it be okay if I leave? More often than not, they're going to be like, well, I have to say yes to this. But if you just go up and demand it, then you're going to create a bad atmosphere between you and the teachers. So don't try and be cute. Also, the way a lot of dispatch companies structure their contracts is very, what's the word, cunning, I would say.
I think the word in Japan is black, right? A kind of like a black company.
Ah, okay. So they have like limits on hours. So they will set out the structure of your contract in such a way that officially you are doing less than 6 hours, even though you are in the building for maybe 7.5, 8 hours. And a lot of people look at that and think, oh, well, I'm going to go and leave because technically I'm not working from 12 till 1, so I'm going to go off and I'm going to, go and have McDonald's, or I'm going to go and look around the shops. But the contracts are actually structured in such a way that your pay is probably derived from a mixture of your working hours plus paid overtime. Don't try and think I'm going to nickel and dime this, I'm going to get what's owed to me to the last penny out of these people. Bear in mind of how the culture works. Try and keep that in mind with your interactions, because how you come across to your co-workers is going to determine what kind of an experience you have. If you have a job where you're going to be a desk warmer, where you're going to have a lot of time outside the classroom, maybe you're in a really small school where you have a lot of free time, do not do overtly personal things at your desk. Don't be sitting there at your computer surfing through Facebook on your computer screen. If your desk in the teacher's room is in the corner and your screen is facing the wall, maybe you can get away with it. But if your screen is face onto like the main aisle that goes up the middle of the room, where like 3/4 of the room can see it, don't do that. Don't do personal things. And it might just be, you might be in a school where the English teacher wants nothing from you. They just want you to be a CD monkey. They want you to come and read the textbook and do nothing else. So you might say, well, I've got all this free time. I only have like 10 lessons a week.
Maybe learn the language.
And exactly. Do something that can be seen as you trying to improve how you can fulfill your role in the school. Study Japanese, they will love that. Or just create ideas for worksheets, because, as I said before, you can proactively offer them things. If they say, I want nothing from you, just say, well, can I just show you something? And then they might start to take your ideas and they might want it. Don't just give up and say, oh, well, I'm just going to start, I'm going to set up an Instagram account now and I'm going to start like blogging from my desk or something. I'm going to draw little doodles that I'm going to draw and I'm going to make into a comic book.
I think they'd be really, really surprised the amount of ALTs that get in trouble for doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's right. I mean, you're paid to be there as a teacher.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's a very easy excuse to be like, well, you've not given me work to do. It's like, well, can you not proactively find work for yourself?
Yeah.
Could you not make things? Could you not make materials for the lesson? I mean, that's why you're there. Absolutely don't just think that because the teacher hasn't specifically asked you for anything, you now have carte blanche to just go, well, I guess this is my free personal time now, so I'm going to start reading Game of Thrones. Be professional about how you conduct yourself in the school, and you're going to be fine.